Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to the video. I hope everybody's morning is going great. This morning we're going to be talking about Effect to start the video off. We'll be going over this tweet he said. Apparently he's in a really good mood now. Everything's going great. He did consider quitting about a week ago though. We'll go ahead and take a look at what he said on Twitter this morning. Then after that guys, we are going to be talking about BIRDRING and the London Spitfire. From a hero to a zero, the fall of a god, BIRDRING. We're going to be taking a look at his performance, how bad it's actually gotten, and what the differences are. We will also talk a little bit about what the issue is. How do you go from one of the best players in the league, basically an MVP candidate, to being pretty much one of the worst DPS players all around? So if you're new around here guys, do not forget, like the video, subscribe to my channel. I upload Overwatch League related content like this every single day, so if you want to stay updated with the league, this is your channel. Also, I will be live streaming today after the Overwatch League finishes, so if you have any questions, you want to come hang out, talk about the games, or anything else Overwatch League related, come stop by. And now without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this video. So this morning on Twitter, Effect, this is what he tweeted out in Korean. And if we do have anybody who is fluent in Korean and in English watching this video, if you could do a full translation down below, that would be great. Unfortunately, everyone that does translations on Twitter has not done one yet. So we are just using the Google translation, which does seem pretty accurate at this point. So this is what Google Translate says. I almost stopped broadcasting on YouTube and I rested for a long time without playing a game. I was going to quit the pro because of the many reasons I was overwhelmed with, depression. Thanks to the rest, I got a lot better. I will practice by steadily preparing for the changing meta now and returning to the wonderful. So what he is saying here is that he almost quit YouTube and Twitch, basically. He was thinking about quitting playing as a pro because of all the things that have been going on. He's depressed, stuff like that. He's just really overwhelmed. But thankfully, because of the time he did take off, the rest he got, he feels a lot better, and now he wants to practice and prepare for this next meta and be better than ever. That is a more fuller version of what he said, and I got mixed feelings about this tweet because literally like 3 or 4 days, I don't know the exact date, but this past week, he literally was tweeting, talking about suicide on Twitter. I mean, all of a sudden, he can't just be cured. Like, I mean, maybe he had some type of revelation, but still, as soon as something goes bad again, he's gonna get back into his old habits. He needs serious professional help from a therapist, psychologist, something that will help him get on the right mindset. Because seriously, out of nowhere, he's not just going to realize, oh, well, I was being a baby, I'm back to normal now, you know, all I needed was a 5-day break. Because literally, that difference of 4 to 3 days is absolutely nothing. There's no way he completely just changed his whole mindset, and now he understands what he needs to do. It's impossible. He was talking about suicide, and he was literally losing his mind. This is just something that's going to make everything worse for Effect. As I said, he needs professional help. I wish he was cured. I wish everything was good for him, and he was happy and ready to start grinding again, but it's just not possible. It really isn't. Like, I wish he was happy. I hope everything's going great for him, but it simply just doesn't make sense that that's the case. I don't know if he's lying to himself or what, but yeah, alright, I'm kind of going on and on about this. That's pretty much it in what Effect said. I want him to be happy. I want him to be in a good spot mentally. You can't just magically 2 days later appear there. So yeah, that's it for Effect. Let's go ahead and move on now. And we're going to be talking about BIRDRING, from a hero to zero, the fall of a god. What has gone so wrong for BIRDRING? We'll first start off with actually how hard he is falling. So I'm going to show you guys the differences between BIRDRING's performance during stage 1 and stage 2-ish when he was doing really good. Then we're going to compare those performances to his performance from stage 2 playoffs to now. So I went on the Winston's lab stats, I put BIRDRING in, Overwatch League. I set all the matches from the beginning of the Overwatch League, which was in January, to March 24th. March 24th was the last regular Stage 2 match, and it was against the Dallas Fuel. So it's pretty much all of Stage 1, including playoffs, and then just the Stage 2 regular season, not including playoffs. I also set the minimum time played on a hero to show up at 20 minutes. So only heroes he has played for more than 20 minutes during that time will show up. Then I basically did the same exact thing, but I set the dates for March 25th, the day after March 24th, which is when they did play Philadelphia Fusion and the Stage 2 playoffs, all the way to basically today. So you guys can see the stats of every hero he has played for more than 20 minutes during Stage 1 and Stage 2. I have it ordered in his KD. So highest KD, he had a 3.00 on Junkrat, a 2.10 on Soldier 76, a 1.95 on Widowmaker, a 1.48 on Tracer, a 1.28 on McCree, and a 1.24 on Genji. Overall, he has really good performances on everything. Almost 1,000 rating on everything, really high participation in team kills, really high kills per 10 minutes, really low deaths per 10 minutes. Everything looks really good for BIRDRING. And this is why everybody was considering him as one of the biggest MVP candidates. And now, let's go ahead and take a look at Stage 2 playoffs until now, which is March 25th all the way to May 19th. Now, this doesn't include his matchup against the Houston Outlaws in this stage because the Winston's Lab stats haven't updated, but if it did, the stats would be worse for him because he went 29 and 49 in that matchup. And just off of a quick first glance, you can tell his stats are way worse than what they were earlier on in the season. They're literally worse on every single hero. Let's just go ahead and start off with the Widowmaker, which he has the most time played on. An hour and 37 minutes. He has a KD of 0.83. Look at the difference, guys. He went from a 1.95 KD on Widowmaker to a 0.83. That's more than a 50% decrease. That's absolutely insane. He also went from getting 9.42 kills per 10 minutes to 5.42 per 10 minutes. Nearly almost 50% less kills per 10 minutes. Then looking at his deaths per 10 minutes, he went from 4.84 deaths per 10 minutes to 6.54 deaths per minute. So a huge increase in deaths, a huge disincrease in kills. On Widowmaker, he used to get 25.3% of his team kills. Now, he's only getting 17.3, an 8% decrease. He also went from having 19% of his team deaths on Widowmaker to now having 22.5%. So a 3.5% increase in deaths. His Widowmaker has pretty much gone to absolute crap. This literally has to be the biggest drop of performance on a single hero by any individual player in the entire league. Like, the difference in performances here is absolutely insane. He definitely very easily went from the best Widowmaker in the league to one of the worst. Now let's move on to another hero, looking at his McCree, where he has a lot of time on it recently and a lot of time on it early into the season. Looking at his better stats from early on into the season, he had a 1.28 KD. And then looking at his recent performance on McCree, he has a 0.059 KD. Again, another decrease by more than 50% in his KD. He went from getting 9.11 kills per 10 minutes to only 4.68. And now lastly, let's take a look at his Tracer performance. Early on in the season, he had a 1.48 KD, and now in most recent games, he's had a 1.2. So not as bad as the other two heroes, but still a big drop off. He went from getting 9 kills per 10 minutes to 7.13. So overall, this is a massive decrease in performance. Now let's look at his overall performance with all heroes combined. He went from early on having a 1.6 KD to now having a 0.89 KD. He went from getting 9.16 kills per 10 minutes to only getting 6 per 10 minutes. He also went from dying only 5.73 times per 10 minutes to dying 6.75. He also went from a team kill participation of 24% to only a 19.9%. And he increased from a 18.5% of his team deaths to 21% of his team deaths. So as you guys can see from the stats, BIRDRING, he has drastically dropped in performance. And now real quick, just because a lot of you guys might be thinking, oh, well, Michael, in Stage 1 and Stage 2, the London Spitfire, they won way more than they did in Stage 3. So obviously, if your team is losing, you're going to have less stats. Well, here's my argument to that, guys. Let's go and do the same thing with Prophet and compare his KD from Stage 1 and Stage 2 to his Stage 3 one. We did the exact same dates. Everything is identical. Prophet went from a 2.46 KD in Stage 1 and 2 on Tracer to a 2.15 KD. So not that much of a decrease, only 0.30, and he is still in the twos, and this is with his team losing a lot more. Then looking at his Genji performance, he had a 1.46 KD early on, and then now he actually increased in his Genji KD. He went to a 1.78, so a 0.30 increase on his Genji KD. Also something to note on the Tracer, he gets more kills now than he used to. probably because of the lack of kills that BIRDRING gets. Then moving on to his Junkrat, early on he had a 2.14 KD, now he has a 1.78. Again, only a 0.30 decrease, so not that bad. And actually this stage, he gets more kills on the Junkrat than he did early on. So overall, Prophet's stats still look really good. There's not that much of a drop, and there's actually an increase in certain areas. Unlike BIRDRING, there's massive drops in every single category. So I think this is enough proof to show that BIRDRING pretty much went from one of the best players to one of the worst, and it should have not happened. This is just mind-blowing how bad he got. The comparison with Prophet literally seals the deal. Now, a lot of this is being blamed on a wrist injury. That's what a lot of people are looking at. Yes, obviously going through a wrist injury is a major thing when you're a professional gamer. You rely on your wrists and you need them at full strength to be able to play at your best, right? And I know in my last video, a lot of you guys were concerned, typing in the comments saying, oh, well, Michael, wrist injuries do take a long time to heal, sometimes up to 3 months. Which, yes, that's very true, especially if you don't know what you're doing and you don't heal it properly. The thing is, though, BIRDRING is in an Overwatch League team. These guys have doctors and professionals looking at his wrist injury and telling him what he needs to do in order to fix it. If the London Spitfires management were on point and doing what they needed to be doing, they would have caught that he had a wrist injury within 3 to 2 days. And if you catch an injury to a wrist within 3 to 2 days, all you really need is 3 to 7 days of rest on your wrist, and it'll pretty much be healed. So there's a problem here. Either the London Spitfires management hasn't hired a doctor or any professional coach that understands wrist injuries, which is very unlikely, especially in a Korean team with how much they play the game. They want to catch wrist injuries right away, and they look for the signs that players might have them. We once saw in one of those LA Valiant series that they upload on YouTube, Envy was going through a wrist injury during stage 1, and immediately their head coach was like, oh yes, you have a wrist injury, you need to take 2 to 3 days off, and it'll be completely healed. Just straight up, don't play the game at all, and you'll be good. What did Envy do? He took those 2 to 3 days off, and he was good. He was back to normal, he was fragging and playing great. So I think it's highly unlikely that they didn't catch it on early, and that this is more than a wrist injury, which is actually what I'm starting to think. I can't sit here and blame this all on a wrist injury, because he's had his time to rest, and I'm sure they caught it early on, so his wrist should be fine. I'm blaming a lot of this on a confidence issue, and this isn't just on BIRDRING. The team has had huge confidence issues overall. They have a lack of leadership, it seems. They're not working together. There are some clear issues in game, but I do think most of this started with BIRDRING's confidence issue. And I think ever since BIRDRING started this wrist injury thing, he's gotten in his own head. Just looking at the stats, he dies way more than he used to. That's not a wrist thing. Sure, if he had a wrist injury, he would die a little bit more than he used to. He would compensate this wrist injury by playing a lot more passive and dying less, right? But no, it seems like he has a confidence issue. He's playing more aggressive and he's dying more early on. Confidence is the biggest thing when it comes to professional gaming, guys. You can trust me on that. As soon as a player loses his confidence, you literally go to crap. You are not good anymore. You won't hit crazy shots. You'll think you're going to lose a duel, and of course, because you're thinking you're going to lose, you do lose. A lack of confidence is one of the most damaging things to a professional career. So in my opinion, I think BIRDRING is going through a major confidence issue. Obviously, a wrist injury maybe helped with it a little bit, but he's really got to get his confidence back now because it's hurting his team majorly. And if he doesn't, I honestly don't see the London Spitfire making a good run for the playoffs, and there still is a chance they could miss out on the overall playoffs. So everything is in BIRDRING's hands. He needs to step up. His performance has been absolutely atrocious. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Let me know down below what you think. How did BIRDRING get so bad? What's the main issue? Do you agree with me on the wrist injury and the confidence issue? If so, leave a like, subscribe to my channel. I upload content like this every single day. Also, I'm going to be live on Twitch tonight after the games, so don't forget to stop by. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Peace.